Hey everybody, welcome to your Gemini horoscopes for the week of the 13th to the 19th. No planets in Gemini this week. I think we had the moon last week, so we're done with that. And moving on to no planets in Gemini, we do continue to have Vespa in Gemini, and focus is on finances. So this is actually a very interesting layer here in terms of Vespa's influence on your sign. Because as we know, we've talked about this for a few weeks now, Vespa is known as the eternal flame that burns on the hearth being the place where you come from, your home, your security, the place where you feel the most secure. So when we are influencing money with security, we are looking at a very specific use of your money. Granted, yes, you could be spending money on things that make you feel secure, like, food in the bills and stuff like that. But I'm actually going a little more towards building up the nest egg, building up something that makes you feel a little bit more financially secure than you did before. And this is actually very difficult for most people. Honestly, most people are not good at this because a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck. So they're basically just trying to get through until they get their next money. And there's always this thought in the back of our heads that says, okay, yeah, I definitely have to put money aside to that. And I will, at some point I'll do it someday. And then 20 years goes by and you have done nothing. You have nothing for your retirement. You have nothing set aside for anything at all. It's a little bit scary. So I'm looking at this for you brilliant Geminis. I'm looking at this more as looking at this from a different point of view. Rather than all or nothing, which is we're human and that's how we do things. Rather than this all or nothing kind of a mentality, this is the week to just start putting a little bit of money aside, a little bit of money aside. I have a thing with my bank account called Keep the Change. So basically, I have a savings account, and every single time I spend money, is the dollars and cents, they round up the cents to the next dollar, and they take those cents and they put them in my savings account. And it doesn't seem like a lot, when you're talking about less than $1 every time. But if you go out and use your ATM card 5 times, and you don't spend exactly $1 amount, there's always some cents there, you're looking at $2 or $3 by the end of the day, depending on how you're spending. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only solution, but putting $5 a week, $10 a week, you start to build something up slowly, and eventually you get to a point where maybe you can put a little bit more in there. So you're creating your security in very small amounts to get to eventually where you want to be. And it takes that worry of I've got to do this someday away, because you're actually doing it. So this week really does revolve around these kinds of plans for you guys. And because there's no planets influencing it right now, it basically gives you a clean slate to be able to go in whichever direction is the most comfortable and the most successful for you. And that's what really matters. You can get advice from other people about how they did it, but really this has to be the best way that works for you. And that includes working with your Gemini energy and not against it. And whenever you work against that Gemini energy, it is not successful. You already have established this probably a million times now. So don't go trying to do things like quote unquote normal people do. Do it in the Gemini way. Just make sure that you get it done. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do click the link and send me a copy. I would greatly appreciate that. And you guys, I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic, and you guys make it a great week. I will see you next week.